Buenos días y bienvenidos al Gran Premio de España. Hello and welcome to Jerez, round 4 of MotoGP in 2020 for the Estrella Galicia 0-0 Spanish Grand Prix. And what a start to life we've had so far. Marquez 1, Marquez 2, Alex fastest than Mark in the opening practice session with last time out's race winner Maverick Vinales third, and the stars are here already. Look at this, straight off the bat, we're here with Jorge Lorenzo. Jorge, how are you? You're looking fit, ready, primed for the big event that's coming up.
Well, I need to train. I need to train a little bit because the good life has been hitting hard. But anyway, yeah, for the moment we are here in Jerez, beautiful weather, and we expect to have fun with the races.
There's no backing out now. Yesterday, the talk of the boxing, it went up a gear.
It's gonna happen. I didn't have all the confidence that Dani accepted my challenge, but he did, so surprisingly, and now we cannot go back, so let's do it. I don't know still the date and where, but it's going to happen.
Let's talk this weekend very quickly. There are so many contenders, it seems almost impossible to predict who's going to win the race on Sunday, who's going to be challenging at the front. Could you give it a go and tell us what you think might happen?
Yeah, you know, MotoGP every year is getting closer and closer about the competitive of the bikes, of the riders. It's very difficult to make a prediction. Even a wheel car like Dani here, that is he have the speciality to go very quick here, can win perfectly on Sunday. So anything can happen. I said that Pedro, for me, is already ready to try to win, but you know, everything can happen. So it's very difficult to make a prediction in MotoGP.
Good to see you here. Enjoy the weekend.
Good to see you. Thank you.
There we go, great to catch up with five-time world champion Jorge Lorenzo, here ready to give his thoughts across the weekend, working with our Spanish broadcast partners at DAZN. And he's right in what he said. He had already, ahead of the weekend, pinpointed the fact that he thought Pedro Acosta is ready, and for him, is his pick to win the Spanish Grand Prix on Sunday, and only his 4th Grand Prix, of course, as I'm sure you're all aware by now. If he was to do that, he would make history, yet more history, and become the youngest ever Premier Class race winner. It was a positive start for Pedro, as again, you are all aware of by now. The morning session on a Friday is free practice. Those times, you can't really look at them too much. Pedro inside the top 10 though, looking pretty strong, and I'm sure we'll see what he is all about in that all-important practice session. 60 minutes of it coming your way from 3 o'clock local time here in Spain. Don't miss that one, because the lap times around here are incredibly tight. Do not be surprised if that top 10 is split by around 3-4 tenths of a second. It is going to be so important to try and put the perfect lap together in that practice session later on, which, as I said, was topped by both of the Marquez brothers. Alex taking top spot ahead of Mark, which is a great start to life for them, especially at their home round, and it was a Spanish 1-2-3 with Maverick Vinales third overall. And Maverick was pretty confident yesterday that he's going to be able to fight once again at the top. I was chatting with Simon Crafar in the preview, and from speaking to plenty of the journalists in the media centre to get their thoughts, their takes ahead of the weekend. A lot of people almost saying that yes, of course, that perfect Austin weekend where he picked up pole position, sprint victory and the Grand Prix win, it was without doubt very pleasing and very promising, but you just feel that this weekend is oh so important, that we don't see potentially the Maverick of old, that inconsistency, that inability to really put a championship challenge together. Potentially this year is the year that we see the number 12 Top Gun finally doing the business. I for one would like to see that, because he is a great guy. He is one of the good guys in the paddock, and I'm sure he's going to be hoping to see something pretty special from himself as we make our way down towards the orange part of the paddock here in Jerez, because as Jorge mentioned, we've got a special guest this weekend. In fact, we've got 3 of them: Stefan Bradl, Lorenzo Savadori are wildcarding this weekend for both Honda and Aprilia, but understandably, the talk of the town is the fact that Dani Pedrosa, for the second year in a row, is wildcarding here in Jerez. And unsurprisingly, given he's done some testing here on this 2024 KTM in weeks previous, he was actually the fastest of the orange bikes this morning, 7th for the number 26, who, we were told late last night, a little bit of insider information here, you might have seen on the TV graphics, now says Daniel Pedrosa is decided as a bit of an elder statesman now. He's got to a new maturity in life. He's no longer Dani. We need to refer to him as Daniel Pedrosa, as he was when he first came into the paddock. So he's flip-flopped. He's gone from Daniel as a youth to Dani in his mature, successful MotoGP era days. And now, in the latter stages of his Grand Prix career, he's decided to go back to Daniel. So there we go. So for those at home, make sure when you're cheering him on this weekend, you're shouting for Daniel, not Dani, as we make our way through here. Excuse me, I hope you don't mind, as we want to grab a word with a certain Francesco Guidotti, who I was told was floating around somewhere. So we see Jack Miller's mum and dad there. Ciao, Francesco.
Ciao, Jack.
How are you? All good?
Yeah, no, could be better after the match of yesterday. I feel pain everywhere, but yeah.
Yeah, me and Francesco played yesterday, and
You played. I was.
I'm glad you said it.
Attending.
After 10 minutes, Francesco decided that he was better off in goal rather than playing outfield, and it was potentially the right move in the end.
Yeah,
but
the body doesn't follow the mind. Certain age, so I have to train a little bit more.
yeah, same for me. I'm a bit stiff this morning. Let's talk what we've just seen. Looked like a good start. I mean, Dani 7th,
Yeah.
Brad and Jack there or thereabouts. How was it?
Yes, generally I couldn't expect that speed. Lap time is already pretty fast compared to last year. Means that qualifying will be even faster. Overall, yeah, pretty good. Nothing special. Yeah, a lot of contenders. We know that the level once again is up and up. So yeah, we have to work on some details. A little bit more about Jack. Has some braking issues where he felt worse. Brad generally was okay, feeling turning, braking. It was good. Just had to clean up some electronics. Yeah, let's see. In the afternoon will be tough for sure.
How big is this weekend for you guys? Obviously, you came here 12 months ago and had a great weekend. Both guys having so much success. There's a lot of talk about what Pedro is doing. Does that mean that there's pressure on to deliver?
No more than usual. I mean, we know that every weekend has its own story. Doesn't matter what happened last year. Of course, give some more feeling, some more good feeling, some good motivation. But we know that every Grand Prix, every year can be different. So we have to face it like a new one, brand new one. And of course, with Dani here, with few tests in the last months, can be helpful, but yeah, it's nothing done yet.
We were just saying, obviously, Dani's done some laps here in the build-up to this weekend. How much did that help you guys start with a bit more momentum than usual?
Yeah, a little bit more information, but he's using a different spec. So it's also interesting to compare the two specs, what the factory guys are using and what is somehow the evolution of the bike. So yeah, I mean, I think this afternoon will be really interesting because the Q2 will be really tight in a short circuit like this, twisty. Yeah. For you guys will be fun. For us will be really stressful.
I can imagine. Like the top 10 is going to be split by what? 3 tenths, 4 tenths, something ridiculous.
I think less than 3 tenths.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure less than 3 tenths the top 10.
And that must put so much pressure for the riders because they have to make the perfect lap.
Exactly. We have to deliver the perfect bike, almost the perfect bike, and they have to be perfect. No any little mistakes.
I'll let you go continue your work on finding that perfection, Francesco.
Thank you.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you. See you then.
There we go. And rest up as well. Get in the ice bath later. He needs to rest his legs after a fierce football match yesterday. 6-6 in the end. An absolute barnstormer. Potentially the football match of the year so far. Afternoon, how are you? Good to chat with Jack's dad there. Of course, he's cheering him on. Doesn't often make the trip across from Australia. But with, you can see, babysitting duties to be done. There was Jack's mum and dad just looking out for the new arrival whilst Jack debriefs and de-stresses after the first session of the weekend. Right, is there anyone else that we might be able to find in? Buenos dias, ¿qué tal? There we go, just practicing my Spanish. We're hoping to try and grab somebody from Gresini Racing, but unfortunately Michele Messini feeling a little bit under the weather, so he stayed at the hotel this morning, meaning might not be anyone to be able to grab the thoughts of the Gresini Racing camp, which we would like to do, of course, since they were first and second in the morning, but we'll head in this direction anyway and just poke our head round the corner to see if there is anybody of interest lurking around. Here's the one, actually. Let's have a look down here and just see if there's anybody at all from the Gresini Racing mob that might actually be able to offer us some insights. Poking my head down, I'm seeing lots of Dorna camera guys, but doesn't look like there's anybody in a blue shirt that might be able to offer us too much assistance. Hello, how are you? So, well, we'll move on anyway. Hopefully I'll be able to grab someone in pit lane. There we go, I've teased it. Tune into practice later on to get the official down low on how things are going down at the Gresini Racing box. And Francesco there, that's a predictor. There's a spoiler for you. Less than 3 tenths, maybe a quarter of a second. That will be the difference between whether you're in Q2 automatically or not later on this afternoon. What do we think here? Shall we try and grab some fans? It's always the beauty of Austin, for obvious reasons, is the fact that you can, with real confidence, doorstep someone, ask them a few questions, get their thoughts on MotoGP, because you know that they're going to reply in English. The issue here, trying to keep it international, trying to keep it English, is I'm not confident some of these guys will be able to fully be eloquent enough to tell us exactly what they're feeling ahead of the weekend. But we might try anyway as we head further down and go past certain Mr. Pedrosa's garage. Might actually be making his way out from the box. No, he's not, unfortunately. Again, another insider scoop, which you will be aware of if you're an avid viewer of Inside the Paddock. The culture differences between a Grand Prix outside of Europe and inside Europe. You can see all the trucks are here, all the motorhomes are here. As a result, as soon as the session finishes, pretty much the riders will jump on the scooters and head back to a place of refuge, go back to their comfort of their motorhomes. Whereas in Austin, for example, where we were last time out, they had the opportunity to mill around in the paddock a little bit more, and it gave us more of an opportunity to try and grab the thoughts of some of the riders post-session. But I think that may well be that on Inside the Paddock this morning, unless there's anybody. We'll go right down to the end here, past the LCR and past the factory Honda guys, just to see if there could well be someone. If not, we'll round it off. It was a nice chit-chat with Francesco anyway. Good to be able to get the thoughts of him, and good to be able to find out just exactly what's going on there. Jack struggling with a few brake issues, electronics, they're just trying to dial in for Brad. Was able to deflect pressure, deflect the fact that this is a big weekend. He might not admit it, but I'm going to say it on his behalf. It is a big weekend for KTM. They definitely need to come out swinging here if Brad Binder truly wants to be a World Championship contender, which he does this season, and he has to make sure that he finds 2 big results here in Jerez, a place where, of course, 12 months ago, he was able to win the sprint and then finish second in the Grand Prix. So, before we leave it, let's head back in the direction of Estrella Galicia 00, the proud sponsors of this, the Spanish Grand Prix, just to make sure that I'm fully aware of my surroundings and fully aware of exactly where I'm going to be heading later on this evening once the work is done. Of course, the good guys at Estrella Galicia 00 will be making sure that the vast majority of the paddock stay hydrated throughout the course of this Spanish Grand Prix, because the sun is out, the heat is on. It's important, ladies and gentlemen, to stay hydrated, and Estrella Galicia 00 is the perfect way to do that. There we go. I think I've probably, through that little advert there, managed to earn myself a free beer later on tonight. And also show you a different side of the paddock as well, the huge hospitality units which join us in Europe. We don't see them in Austin. A little bit more of a smaller affair when we travel outside of Europe, understandably, because it's pretty difficult to be able to pack all of these into flight cases and take them halfway around the world. But these guys here do an exceptional job to be able to build them up on Tuesday, pack them down Sunday night on Monday, and in particular when we go to the back-to-back rounds, for example, moving from Barcelona to Mugello in the space of 2 days. It is an unbelievable amount of work that they do to make sure that the sponsors, the guests, the riders, the team personnel and everybody else are fed, watered and able to enjoy a little bit of comfort. And it is certainly a pretty full-on stressful job for those guys, but they do it magnificently well. As we leave you on Inside the Paddock, outside of Estrella Galicia 00, thank you very much to those guys, as I say, for hydrating us later on this evening. And I've told you already, why on earth would you want to miss MotoGP practice later on? 60 minutes of all-out, full throttle, all adrenaline MotoGP action, where the top 10, as Francesco Guidotti told you, is going to be covered by a quarter of a second. It cannot get closer, it cannot get tighter, it cannot get better. We'll see you this time tomorrow. Yes, we will, for Inside the Paddock, round 2 of 2024 in Jerez. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.